Okay, so flop comes Jack 5 7 rainbow, which is absolutely fine for me. I'm going to come back to that one and go back to the top right really quickly and look at this queen 7. So I got called on the turn, and the 5 is actually the not worst card in the deck for my purposes of what I was trying to do, because if he had 8-9, now he got there. If he had 6-5, 7-5, all those hands I was targeting to call me are now ahead of me, so I have to just check and fold. On the top middle, I isolate 9-10 of clubs and get 3-bet small, more about 150 big blinds deep or so, and that's deep enough for me to want. I think they were 150 big blinds deep. Let me see. Yeah, that's plenty deep for me to call here and try to hit a hand or try to hit a good board that looks scary to him and then push him off of his hand. I assume he has aces or kings here, or ace king or whatever, but 9-10 is good enough for me, 150 big blinds deep. So he didn't make it very big, he only made it 950. It might be slightly minus EV, I'm not sure, but I think, like, I'm playing 50-cent dollars, so I think it's okay. So on the flop with the ace 4 in the bottom left, I want to make sure I don't bet very big, because what I'm trying to do is get him to fold pocket queens or pocket kings here. I don't, like, I'm not sure how often he'll have pocket kings. I don't think he ever has pocket aces, but I suppose potentially he could have kings. Obviously he started folding jacks, and I don't think he's ever going to fold pocket aces, but I'm not putting that in his range. So I want to make a bet that I can bet the flop, bet the turn, and then shove the river. But I also want to, like, these small bets, they also accomplish another thing, and that's that they make him feel as if he, like, his hand is very, like, his hand will be vulnerable to turn and river cards. So when I make this small bet here, he's going to be, like, sitting there with pocket queens or whatever, like, this guy could have pocket aces, he could have, I don't know, he could have all sorts of stuff. If the board gets coordinated, I don't want to have to call down my whole stack, because he could make a straight, or he could make 2 pair or something. So all these things will be going through his mind, and with the smaller bet makes him want to raise the times that he thinks that his hand is good. So when he just check calls, that's indicating to me that he either has pocket jacks and he's slow playing, or he has ace. Well, I still just never think he has aces. Either he has pocket jacks and he's slow playing, or he has queens or kings, and he's concerned that he does not have the best hand, and I think he's going to fold it by the river. So I'm going to bet very small. I hope I bet smaller than 15. 12 I like. Yeah, 12 is good. So he, like, calls almost instantly, like, very, very quickly, which indicates to me that he definitely didn't have pocket jacks. And when his turn comes on a jack now, I just think that even though I did make quads earlier in the video, it just is very exceedingly rare. So that's not something I'm ever thinking about. However, this turn card, it's questionable whether it's a good one for me, because I don't know how he's going to perceive it. I don't know if he's going to perceive it that I could have a jack in my hand, and now I could have 3 jacks if I bet the turn, or if he's going to perceive it that now, because the turn's a jack, it's less likely that I have pocket jacks, and more likely that I'm bluffing. So he's going to call with his 2 pair kings and jacks, or queens and jacks, or whatever. So it's questionable whether or not to bet the turn. I think that if I bet the turn, I can't really shove the river, because I can't really be sure which of those 2 thoughts went through his mind. Obviously, like, when I'm saying things like this, you could say that I'm assuming too much about my opponent, but what I really think is that these things will go on in his mind at a subconscious level, whether he's aware of it or not. So I do think that they have that it's relevant to think about it. anyways, if I bet the turn, I don't think I should bet the river, because if he calls, because I think that if he's calling the turn, it means that he's thinking more along the lines of like, I'm just completely bluffing him and he has nothing and he has two pair, so he's gonna call. So, or I guess he could have it. Nah, he can't have a jack. So it's either bet turn, give up, or just give up right now. And I think that giving up right now is the better option against most players. I mean, if the turn card is really anything but a jack, I'm going to keep betting. Even though I know I'm saying I'm putting on specifically queens or kings, I would bet a queen or a king on the turn. I would definitely bet a king. And I would probably bet a queen. Yeah, I would bet a queen. Just because, like, if he has pocket kings, then he beats nothing of my perceived value range. So, and I would not bluff the river in that instance if I bet the turn on a king. But anyways, any other card besides a jack, I'm happily triple barreling. My mistake. Any card below a jack, I'm triple barreling. Any card, if it comes a queen or a king, I'm gonna two barrel and give up on the river. So anyways, I'm gonna give up here. And somehow with the 9-10 in the top middle, I managed to flop two pair, and the guy who I'm putting on aces, kings, or ace king pots it into me. So I'm just going to press all in and hope he doesn't have pocket kings. In the bottom left, with the ace-4, the river is kind of, well, it's pretty, I guess it's pretty interesting. It's not that interesting, I suppose. It's really just a matter of, I think that he has pocket queens. Will he fold them? I think so, because if I check the turn, I mean, it looks like I have ace-king. There's no reason, and people love to put you on ace-king. That's like the thing to do. So I definitely think that I should be bluffing this card. As far as sizing, in general, well, I don't know if this guy's a fish or a regular. He's playing 26-15 and he hasn't 3-bet once. He's probably one. These types of players, I really think that they're like, they're probably live pros who win money in live cash games, but they try to play online and they never 3-bet, and they don't know the mechanics of the game. They're just like, they win money live, but they come online and like, they can hand read decently, but they're not good, so they end up like, we consider them fish, basically. That's probably the kind of guy who this guy is, and that's kind of what I think about him. So against this guy, since I think that he can hand read a decent amount, I don't think I need to bet exceedingly big, but I definitely want to make a bet that looks like I have a king that's looking to get value from pocket queens or pocket tens or whatever. So somehow I managed to dodge like a billion outs. Well, I guess not a billion, but he had quite a few with the king queen. I got pretty lucky there. 54 I think is fine. There's not really much else to say about that.